Welcome. This is a demo to show you how to find and visualize glider data in the Ocean Observatories Initiative, or OOI, Data Explorer. This is one of several demos in a step-by-step guide, and you can access these slides and a link to the guide from the URL shown here. OOI is sponsored by the U.S. National Science Foundation, and this demo follows from the demo Find and Visualize Time Series data, in which we found and visualized water temperature from the Coastal Endurance Array, located here. The goals for this demo are to find glider profiles near a moored time series, visualize the glider deployment, show that deployment on a map, and then find all the glider data for an array. And I'll be using the Data Explorer in a web browser. So you'll have access to the link to get started from the slides. I have this open already to make it quicker. And here we're starting with a time series of water temperature from the Oregon Shelf surface mooring. And I have zoomed into this particular time series from June to August of 2019, because I think I might have found upwelling events indicated by low temperature in mid-June and possibly in the end of July. But I want to know, how extensive is this temperature indicator? And so I can find nearby glider profiles by clicking into this tab. When you open this tab, you'll see a few panels. In the upper left, it's highlighting one of the nearest recovered glider profiles. And you can see in the upper right map where that's located. Red is showing you the location of that moored time series. Green is the location of this profile. In the lower panel, you'll see the moored time series mean in black, and then above that, see these vertical gray bars. Those are indicating nearby profiles. And it turns out there is a cruise profile nearby in mid-June, but for glider data, I really don't have that available to me until the end of July here. And when I look at it in this particular profile, I'm still seeing temperatures well above 10 degrees C. So I can click to the next profile from that same deployment, or I can drag this bar over to the next set of glider profiles that are relevant. I'm still seeing these higher temperatures. So I'm interested in knowing like the whole glider deployment for a better information in space and time. So I can click into that deployment. In this case, the recovered deployment, I did have as well have access to the telemeter. I already have this open to save time. When you open a deployment, you'll see in the left panel a map. The upper right shows you the full time series when you open it up. In this case, the full time series of the seawater temperature variable. The lower right shows a 3D visualization. And I know I'm interested in the end of July, so I'm going to constrain the time right away to near the end of July. Note how this has also constrained the points on the map and in the 3D. I can right-click to hold the 3D map and use my mouse wheel to zoom in a bit. And I'm interested in this cool temperature period where there appears to be cool water right near the surface. And you can see in the map and in the 3D that the glider was really close to shore at that time. I'm interested in near surface, so I can constrain the depth. And you can see as I constrain this, it looks like there may be some binning perhaps of these data. And in fact, if you look in the metadata, this visualization is for 3 million points. So, okay, a little binning to make the visualization quick. You have access to all of the data here through the US IOOS Glider Data Assembly Center, as well as their visualization tools if you go to that link. But let's come on back here to the upper panel, because so far we've been looking at temperature, but I know that density is a great indicator. In fact, I want to look for that 25.8 isopycnol. Switch to the variable density, and noting the units, I'll be interested in 1025.8. And yes, I hover and I see that near surface, I'm exceeding that threshold near the end of July. I don't work in this area though, so I'm interested, is that location on the map anywhere near the inshore moorings? So to do that, you'll have access to a button that says add to the map. I've already added this to the map to save time, so I'm just going to go to my map tab. And when I'm in the map tab, I click on this to zoom to the layer extent to zoom in on this single deployment that is being depicted along with all these other locations. So, and I know I want to get near shore. What are these inshore? Oh, I hover and I see it's the inshore surface piercing profiler mooring. So if you're interested in seeing data from that profiler, tune into the next demo, finding data from profilers. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to that single glider deployment, and I want to know how many other glider deployments do I have available to me? Maybe a little bit offset in time, maybe a little bit offset in space. If I clicked here on gliders, I would be provided with a list, and I'm more interested in the spatiotemporal context. So I'm going to go all the way back to the array. Again, I could click on gliders or mobile assets. That's going to give me a list of options, but I want the map to be able to select. That would be in the glider and cruise selector. This takes a moment to open, so I have opened that in its own tab already. When you open the glider and cruise selector, you see a number of panels. Most importantly, at the moment, I want to indicate the map panel in the upper right, where the polygons with the darker colors are indicating the highest profile density. And in the upper left panel, you're seeing actually that it's by default is displaying some of the cruise data that are available, but I can, for example, zoom in near that Oregon inshore, click in there, and I'm finding data more relevant to that. I can also use the time slider to subset this all the way back to that summer of 2019 to get a better subset of data that I'm interested in. So that concludes this particular demo. If you're interested in more help, note there's a help button with documentation, and just clicking ahead to that help button. Here we go. You can find out how to find the nearby glider profiles, find other cruise data, use the map more. I provide some references. And if you have any questions, please contact me, use the feedback button on Data Explorer, or ask questions in OOI's discourse online.